Hey guys, I've got a lady just walked up here and she was southbound and I was talking to a northbounder. And so I was kind of thinking if she's a flip-flopper or what in the world she's doing. Come to find out, she is finishing up the Appalachian Trail in sections. Tell me your name, trail name, and then we're going to talk about your trail.
My name is Cindy. My trail name is Thumper.
Stumper?
Thumper.
Thumper.
And you said where I'm from?
Yep.
Maui, Hawaii.
Wow, I've got a lot to talk to you now. I got a whole lot. Tell me how you got the trail name.
Nothing too fancy. I was just pretty quick on the downhills, but not so much anymore because I'll be 50 this summer.
Who named you?
You know,
You don't remember?
I don't remember.
Okay, that's nothing. Okay, now you told me, when did you start doing the Appalachian Trail, and when you started, did you start thinking you were going to try to do the whole thing in sections?
No.
Okay.
So I, like a lot of other people, read Bill Bryson's book.
Walk in the woods.
But in conjunction with that, I had a good friend who I used to play rugby with, a ladies club side, and she had moved away. She's from New Hampshire, so she had moved away and had gone to a wilderness school. And so I said, hey, why don't you teach me how to backpack and we'll catch up over the 100-mile wilderness. So I would think I was like 30 at the time, and we did, this was when, we did a full 10 days. I mean, we did 11 miles a day because it's 110 miles roughly. And so, yeah, 10 full days of food. My pack was like 60 pounds. I guess she wasn't really that good with the shakedown. But I was like, we need more candy and cookies and stuff. I'm on vacation.
Yeah.
So yeah, did the 100-mile, and then and I'm from Connecticut originally.
Okay.
So I always knew about the Appalachian Trail. So once I had completed the 110-mile, I was like, wow, that just felt like a huge accomplishment. And I was like, I'm gonna start section hiking this thing because that's like a chunk.
Yeah. Now let me make sure I understand what you're saying on the 100-mile. Did you go up Katahdin first?
Monson to Katahdin.
Monson, and you actually went up Katahdin. So you come back down, so that's the 110 miles
Yes.
you're talking about.
Yep.
Okay, now when you got through that 110 miles and you went home, you got to thinking, and that's the year you're going back to when you told me 19 years?
Yep.
Okay, so that was the first year you did that.
Yes.
And you've done some miles every year since then.
Yeah, so I think my soonest opportunity, which was, my memory's so bad, but it was within the next year, say next spring.
Okay.
I did 450 roughly miles. I did Springer to Damascus, and that was all the money and time off I had. Then I had so much fun, I actually went back to Springer, and my plan was to hike the whole southern section. But around Damascus, I got really bad tendonitis in my foot and had to take a 3-week break.
Okay.
So I just posted up in the area because I didn't want to go home.
All right.
But my brother, who was down for a NASCAR event, shot me up the trail, which is why I have this section hanging.
I got you.
And then I hiked into Harper's Ferry. So I did like 700 plus miles that trek. Then, long story short, I moved to Hawaii and did not think about I thought about the trail, but did not come back for 15 years.
Okay.
And it was really like gnawing away at me that I had to get back. And by this time I was in my mid-40s, and I was like, I really need to get back. And so 2018, I hiked Harper's Ferry to Katahdin. So I've done Springer twice, I've done Katahdin twice. Like, I've probably almost hiked as many miles as the trail is long, but I'm still not done.
Right. But now, so it hasn't taken you 19 years if you count just the years you hiked.
Exactly. It would have been like maybe, this is I think my 5th long hike, but I repeated, so maybe 5.
Yeah, and
or
see,
4.
when you first told me off camera 19 years, immediately I went to thinking about somebody in 2014 that my wife was through hiking. There was a couple we met, I will never forget them. They were section hiking on a 10-year plan, doing 200 miles every year on a vacation for 10
so
years.
Great.
And I thought, well, maybe you were doing it on a 20-year plan, been 100 miles a year.
A little different.
Little
I like
different.
doing the long sections where you just kind of get,
Yeah,
but
so-
200 miles is
Yeah, on a week for a 2-week vacation,
yeah,
and have to retrain yourself every
yeah,
time.
that's a commitment for sure.
When do you expect to be at Damascus?
Well, I was shooting for trail days, but that's going to be ambitious at this point.
Have you slack packed any on the Appalachian Trail?
Yes.
Okay. And can you think right now the hardest section of all that you did?
You know, one of my most challenging days was probably the South Kinsman. I was by myself, and had trepidation about being by myself because I'd kind of fall in and out of groups, but I've always kind of hiked, you know.
In Kinsman, there's two, Little or something,
North and south.
North and South Kinsman. Yeah.
And it was just kind of, you know, it was getting late in the day, and I was by myself, and it just feels like you're on like a 60-degree
Were you doing that
angle.
section northbound or southbound?
Northbound.
Northbound. So Mahoosic Notch, what was you doing, north or south in there?
North. I've done like 98% of the trail north.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. If somebody's watching this and they're hearing this story from you, and they said, you know, I've done some of the Appalachian Trail. I think I might want to try to put it all together too. What would you have any advice for somebody that would ask that?
That wants to.
That wants to do it that way you did it, section hiking.
What would be my advice? Yeah, maybe just do it in digestible chunks, like that couple you were saying that had a plan of 10 years, 200 miles a year. Because I had some trail magic from a guy that was doing 300 to 500 miles a year. So I would just
Have you
keep
changed?
the dream alive.
Have you changed gear very much over the period?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, you hadn't used the same pack undoubtedly the whole time.
I used the same pack that I had in 2018.
Okay, but prior to there, it was a different pack.
Yeah, it was a different pack.
Your tent. Have you changed tents?
Yeah, I've had 3 different packs. I've had probably at least 3 different tents.
Okay, see now that's going back to my deal about it costs people more money to
Yeah,
section
3
hike
different
if you count the
sleeping
money
yeah.
you spent to do this more than
yeah.
a through hiker anytime. I see a kind of a band on your knee. Have you had any injuries this year?
No.
Okay.
No
Have you had some in the past that got you off the trail before you wanted to?
Not really. I had tendonitis in my foot one time, but I just waited it out.
You waited.
And in the last like, I can't remember when it was, but it might have even been the 100-mile, but it was like the last 2 weeks of May, and I fell off a bridge and I sprained, and I had tendonitis, and actually I still have, anyway, I pulled something, and that took a year for it to heal. I finished the hike, but
Well,
I was fairly lucky.
Yeah. Well, congratulations
Yeah,
on.
thank you.
I mean, you're getting ready to be able to say I've done every mile of the Appalachian Trail.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna cry at the end.
Well, I hope you do. I'll probably cry thinking about you crying because it's a life-changing experience. I don't care what anybody says. You'll always remember till the day you die.
Oh yeah.
And you'll remember the day of the date that you do that, whatever day it is in Damascus.
Oh yeah.
That'll be written in stone in your head.
Yeah.
For the first time.
The other cool thing too about section hiking is like I've met so many people from just all the different sections. And then I also got to see what the trail was like almost 20 years ago, and then the comparison to how it is now, and that's just been a really cool thing to see how it has
changed.
transitioned.
And we're going to talk about
And
that.
places that are open, not open. You know, like I got to meet Baltimore Jack, who's a trail legend, and drink whiskey with him in a shelter in Tennessee. Like,
Well, I've got a story that's going to excite you
yeah.
off camera.
Oh, okay.
We're going to go ahead and let you go because
All
we're
right.
at 9 minutes. I like to keep it under 10 minutes. But do you want to say hello to anybody or anything you want to say before we close?
I want to say hi to my dad. His trail name is Chemo, and he started with me in Georgia, and then he just kicked off my hike this past over that horrible storm on after Easter, and he'll be there at the end. So
congratulations on what you've done, and have a wonderful day when you reach Damascus, because I know it'll be a life-changing experience. It'll be a day you'll never forget. I hope it's sunny like it is today and pretty as it is today. God bless every step between here and Damascus.
Okay, thank you.